Welcome back to Wrestling with Ski. Thankfully, the third time was indeed the charm with that working and not freezing up on me. And I hope everyone had a good Christmas, a good weekend. Got to do some stuff, enjoy time with people. It's still seemingly being pushed as a difficult thing to do. But hopefully, your Christmas was still good and enjoyable. And you got to see loved ones and, just kick back and relax for a couple days because everyone needs to sit down and just chill, in my opinion, at least. Everyone just needs to chill. But there was some wrestling both Christmas Eve and then on Christmas night, and then even last night from the Machine. So here I talk about that today as well. And I mean, because of all the COVID stuff, people that are keeping home, just apparently out of sheer caution, some of them, so the pay-per-view could still happen. Just I don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. But because of that, I mean, it really did seem like a lot of just wasted time. Really, I mean, I think it's the best way to put that. It seemed like a lot of time that they were trying to kill on the Machine shows, because they're not having the same problems on AEW, and they also don't have a pay-per-view on Saturday night, so I get it. But a lot of time killing. There was still some good stuff in there. I mean, there were some good interviews, some good talking, good segments, but it seemed like they killed a lot of time because they couldn't have a lot of the big people there. So you could really see it on Raw. Like that was really, really just not good in any way. But now, because they did SmackDown on Friday and then, Rampage was on Christmas night, I have to talk about the Machine, then Rampage and back to the Machine, but try to do my best to stay in a positive, happy, pleasant mood as we do it. It wasn't bad. Again, I mean, we got, the usual recap from the week before, and really the recaps from the recap. There we go. Third time's a charm again. From the week before, which most of them are always, everything that happened between Heyman, Roman, Brock, the Usos were there, like all of that normal stuff, which again was still, nicely done. And the interview that, Paul did with Caleb Braxton, which was different than the normal ones, and where she sneaks up on him. Put some air quotes around there. She sneaks up on him, but I thought it was really, really good. And he can still do, like, he still does it better than a lot of people that try to when it comes to, Heyman. But I mean, all of us, I'm pretty sure, can agree. I have a pretty hard time believing that we're not going to see him at day one on Saturday. There's just this thing inside of me that's like, it's not happening. Like, he's going to be there. It just wouldn't make sense for him not to be in this situation. Now, is it all a swerve to get Brock? Is he going to help Brock? Yeah. And then again, Roman takes off some time before the Rumble to come in, just slaughter everybody and go on to Mania. I mean, don't know who, like that's just theories, pure ways they could do it, but I can't believe that he won't be there. Like, I just have a very hard time believing that to any degree of any imagination that Paul won't be there. There wouldn't be with those two guys there. Paul will, more than likely. He has to be there. He could prove me wrong on Saturday night. Sure, we'll see him on Friday night even, but it'd be really, really weird to not have him there. But again, depending on everything they're doing, how many people missed Raw for the go home for the show Saturday night for day one, champions, all kinds of stuff. Like, what are they going to do about, how many champs are actually going to be on SmackDown is another good question. We will find out, but Raw was missing a lot of people. So, out of abundance of caution, which I don't blame. I mean, Building's ready to go. They're ready to go. The special guests are ready to go. I mean, so I fully understand why they're doing it, but yeah, just wait and see how Friday, see what happens. Charlotte defended the title against Toni Storm. Again, it was a good match for what it was, what it could be, how they want Toni to be, portrayed. This emotional, full, all of her emotion. Jesus, my English is bad today. Yeah, and all that. And since the match, I've heard rumblings that there wasn't supposed to be the end or some like both her shoulders were down type thing. Again, lots of rumors. There's rumors everywhere about all kinds of stuff, but I'm sure it's not over. And we all know that Charlotte's going to have a match at day one. Like, it just seems weird if they'd have the pay-per-view without her there. So she'll be there. I'm sure it's going to be them again one more time. We'll see. Nothing's promised, but pretty sure they're going to clear all that up come Friday, if not earlier, posting it on social media to clear all that up and get her a match. Because again, it's Charlotte at a big pay-per-view. Like, much as they're pushing this, I find it very hard to believe that they're not going to have her at day one. So, and if it is against Toni Storm, just give them enough time to actually, do the damn thing. Whoever it's against, let them have the time to do it. And do it proper and put on a good match, because they have the talent there on the roster. It's just actually letting them have the opportunity to actually show what they can do. And when they let people show what they can do, it actually tends to work out really, really good in their favor. So, and it's Charlotte. She'll make it look. I mean, you could tell. And Charlotte is that good. I don't hate her for that, but it's a good way to test everybody. Does she have to be champion to it? No, but is it a good way to test everyone? Yeah, because if the match sucks, it's probably not Charlotte's fault, just in case anyone didn't know that. But we had Woods, Kofi, and, Drew backstage with all that silliness that led to the main event. Shocker, eggnog was dumped on Corbin's head. And they had all the normal spots in the main event. I will say that, King Woods doing that Van Daminator. I mean, RVD makes it look so much better when he did it, but that Van Daminator type thing, the chair, I believe it was Jey Uso. That was a nice little touch there. I appreciated that, but it still had all the normal stuff you'd expect in a Miracle on 34th Street fight, because they had to put that name in there. So, it's Christmas Eve. And again, look how many people, we didn't have, Brock, Roman, the Usos. Like, there was a lot of people that weren't at the show. I mean, they weren't tag team champs, again, being the Usos, they weren't there. There's a lot of people that weren't. So for what they could do for a holiday show, they got out of what they could. And I will say that the gauntlet match, even though we all knew who was going to win it when they made the thing and they announced it, and half the people in there were like, yeah, they're not winning. They're not winning. They're not winning. They still put on, a pretty good, match. And before it started, we got to see Boogs and, Rick Boogs and Shinsuke head to the ring to be at ringside for it. We got to see a vignette with Xia Li, which I believe she talked pretty good. Talked better than a lot of people. Like, I thought there was something good. We're not going to physically see her after her debut, at least have her do a vignette, stuff like that, just so you're still seeing her, because they built it up for weeks, and then suddenly just poof, gone. Like the next week, we didn't see her at all. So it was good to see it, and I thought she did a pretty good job there, because she didn't get a lot of those opportunities, in NXT. Saw a lot of her begging for matches and losing, and then the training thing. Her and Boa just get mauled, and then she didn't really talk after that. Yeah, she was just out there kicking ass. So it was good to see her do that. And the gauntlet match wasn't bad. I mean, unless you're Mansoor, who pretty much is, unless they're playing, doing a show, doing anything, they're over Saudi Arabia. Otherwise, he doesn't really do anything. No offense to him, he doesn't sure as hell doesn't win. He was one of those we knew he wasn't going to win, but I mean, he got eliminated by Angel Garza, whatever the hell he is now, who then also eliminated Eric, the Viking Raiders, who again, I mean, really, who didn't see that coming? I mean, no one can say they didn't see members of the Viking Raiders not winning to get a shot at the Intercontinental title. I mean, duh. Shanky eliminated Garza. Shanky, all 19 feet of him. Ivar ended up eliminating Shanky. Again, no one thought Shanky was going to win. No one thought, Ivar or Eric was going to win. Sheamus eliminated Ivar. Shocker. Gulak, with how much talent he has and everything, it's really sad to see that he literally hit the ring just to get broke and it's over. But hopefully it made something, just let him go somewhere else. But the guy's super talented. We all saw that. Another shocker, Ridge Holland caused a distraction. So which causes Sheamus to eliminate Cesaro. Shocker. Ricochet eliminated Sheamus after Cesaro took out Ridge Holland at ringside again. Shocker. Those three, they're still doing it. I'd like to see what they mean. Maybe they'll have match between them on Saturday. I don't know. But keep doing it. We know what, again, Cesaro and Sheamus can do. So I'll see all that. But I mean, Sheamus, after he loses, Bro Kick and Ricochet, who then managed to still, pin Humberto. Again, I just don't get it. They pushed, Los Lotharios, and then they made them just lose and look like idiots after. But again, Ricochet quickly eliminated Jinder Mahal, who, again, like no one thought Jinder was going to win the match. Yeah. Ricochet, we're like, okay, there's a shot. But you see, Sheamus is all right. Yeah, that's going to turn to that. Eric and Ivar, no. Shanky, no. Ricochet was the only one we were going, well, there might be a chance. If they're going to do it with anyone, it'll be him. But, I mean, we all knew they set up the match for Sammy to win. And I thought that him and Ricochet actually had put on a really good match, and they had the time to do it because that was really, like, one of 3 matches for the whole entire night. 2-hour show. They had 3 matches. Shocker. But yeah, I thought Sammy and Ricochet actually did a really good job, and it saved the whole night between all the ridiculousness and all the people they couldn't have, that weren't there and everything else. They weren't at live events either. Again, erring on the side of caution. I don't blame them. I mean, you got all this built up, and then what happens if you suddenly can't do it? Like that would be a big old sandwich for them to have to try to eat. So I do get that, but Sammy and Ricochet was great. Saved the night. And we'll see how they go with Sammy and Shinsuke for the Intercontinental title, because that's when all this, conspiracy stuff really started, taking off for Sammy to get him where he is now. Does he need the title? No. Could he do good with it? Yes. And we all know what Sammy's capable of. You've been watching him. Like, he's super, super talented. So let's see what they do with it. But that saved Friday night for me. Was that gauntlet match, even though we all knew the outcome. I mean, please comment, text me, message me on Facebook. Or anywhere. Just find a way to get a hold of me and tell me if you did not see that coming. I don't understand how you couldn't see that coming, but if you didn't somehow, please reach out. I can't think of anyone or know how anyone didn't see it coming. I actually find it to be kind of impossible if you didn't see it coming. But overall, not a bad night. I mean, for what they could do with it, they did do a good job with, some of the stuff with the gauntlet match. So that saved it all. Rampage, I mean, which isn't necessarily known for being the greatest show ever. And a lot of people, I know, don't even watch, they'll watch Dynamite, but they won't watch Rampage. And a lot of the time, you really can't blame them. I mean, there's a lot of just what the hell was the point of that kind of stuff going on there with one good match. But I'd say it was actually not that terrible of a night. I mean, Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus and Christian Cage out there defeated Isaiah Cassidy with, the Hardy Family office people around there, doing all their thing, And it was a good match for what it was. And being on Rampage, it was not a bad match at all to me. And Jungle Boy won with the snare trap. Shocker, I know, because we all didn't see him winning, especially with the snare trap and all that, but it was still a good match. for what it was. Again, it was on Rampage. I always go into Rampage with lower, expectations. Sure, there's a lot of people that do. A lot of people I know that don't even watch it, but wasn't that bad. I mean, that was a good match. I dig the Miro vignette. See, my brain's just all over the place today. I dig that. Getting to see him do more talking and stuff, than he got to in the machine. I mean, so they had Lana, and then they had, what's his name? After the Vaudevillains broke up, they had him. Like, there was all kinds of, let's say, he just didn't talk a lot. I mean, he did talk sometimes, but it just wasn't, so I dig it. I dig him talking. The shocker of the night was Hook defeating Bear Bronson. I mean, no one saw that one coming with all the Hook chants and everything. I mean, and he did look good. I mean, they made him look really good and they made him look strong. I mean, he was flinging dude all over the place, which is good, which is what you need to do to him when he is, this early. I mean, really, really early in his career. And he won with the transmission, shocker. But I really want to see what they're going to do with Tony Nese. Like, they showed him watching from the crowd, which means there has to be something between the two of them. And with what Tony Nese does, I mean, that might be a possibility for Hook to show off, some of the stuff he could do like that. I mean, but I think it could be a hell of a matchup. But hopefully they didn't just put it out there just to put it out there. I hate it when they do that stuff. Literally, like, there's no reason for it. So, it was good though. Like, the whole thing was, good. Again, he showed his strength, showed some more stuff, but he's so young, so it's what you expect. So I just want to see what they're going to do with him and Tony Nese. Chris Statlander defeated Layla Hirsch. I thought it was a pretty good match, again, for being on Rampage. Not bad. I mean, never realized Chris Statlander was like 93 feet tall. Maybe it's just the lady she was against, but took that away. Statlander wins by the submission. And she walks out, just shoulder checks her, walks by her instead of shaking her hand. They do the normal stupid. So we'll see what they do with all that. But, it's still a good match. And then Cody, Rhodes defeating Sammy Guevara for the TNT, championship, becoming the first ever 3-time champ in AEW. I thought it was, regardless of how I feel about the outcome, I still thought it was a great match. Like, especially for a Rampage. I mean, I thought they put together a really, really good main event. Now, do I think it was right or necessary for Cody to suddenly just get the title, shot and get the title after some of the stories that, they say he won, even though he lost the first 2 matches and won the end, like, just out of nowhere, like, hey, he's there. No. Do they love to suddenly throw stuff together where it's just like, okay, yeah. I think Sammy was doing a good job with the title. Yes, I did. We'll see what Cody does with her, what they're going to do with him character-wise. But, I mean, or Sammy just need time off? I don't know. But did I think Cody was the person that should have beat him? No. Now he's a 3-time TNT champion. This is the first ever time they've had a 3-time champion at all in AEW. And I really just don't think he needed it. Anyone else could have done that. And I think a lot of people would be okay, but Cody did not. He didn't need it. Sorry. I mean, I'm not really sorry, but it's still a good match, regardless of how you feel about any of that, Cody winning, any of that stuff. I also thought it was a great match. Cody's back still looks like hell, so, all those bumps and everything had to feel delicious. But, to see him win, it is what it is. But the match before it was still great. To see what they're going to do with Sammy next, or, Cody next with the Men of the Year, American Top Team, any of them. And I think Cody can hold his own and do it. It's just, did he really need to get the title? I don't think so. I think Sammy was doing a good enough job. I don't think Cody needed it. I don't think he actually needs the damn title, or he hasn't won anything. Lots of losses, but still a good match. Still a good night overall for it being a Rampage. As the matches didn't suck, and that always helps. And there's very little talking during all of it, which is even better. So kudos to them for that. Brought us on to the machine, sadly, Monday Night Raw, which, I mean, I was talking about people missing. I mean, out of the Fatal 4-Way main event, KO was the only one there. Becky and Liv weren't there. Like, there was a lot of people that were not there, and you could tell because they maybe didn't see Queen Zelina. We didn't see Rhea. For whatever, I mean, there was a lot of just kind of stuff going on. There's some good stuff in there, though. I mean, RK Bro starting out the show. Yeah. Riddle doing his thing, this party hat. And Gable, when he was getting to the ring, he can talk. Granted, getting cheap heat. He was talking trash about people that choose to live in Detroit. I mean, I know people that live very close to Detroit, but they really don't have anything nice to say about the city anymore. But, yeah, cheap heat's always good. And I did like Riddle's line about him being a man of higher education because, well, we all know where he was going. So that was a good chuckle. And Riddle defeating Gable. I mean, it was a quick match. It was a good match. I mean, for as quick as it was, and Riddle still has his knee is just, the knee strike is beautiful. Which led us to Randy finally, hitting an RKO. And he got a draping DDT on Otis to win that match. Which, again, they weren't the greatest things in the world, but it did kill a whole lot of time, a few segments there, which they really seemed they needed, to do and help doing. But I don't know what that's going to do for the Alpha Academy either. Now they both lost in singles competitions to both of them. Like, what are they going to do with that? Because, again, I think, Otis now on this side of it, from the happy guy with the Money in the Bank lunchbox, and like from the transition he's done is amazing. And we all know how I feel about Gable. I don't know what they're going to do about it now that they lost to both of them in singles competition, but I'm sure they'll do something. I'm sure we're going to figure it out. We just have to get through day one, which is Saturday night. So, Big E's recorded video was good, not great, but it's the usual stuff. KO did a better job and he responded, I think, than Big E did. And he changed the interview's name to Bert, which, whatever. More wasted time, like Reggie and Dana Brooke defeated R-Truth and Tamina, and all I took away, like, what was Reggie wearing? We got another week. This is like the 8th, 12th, 47th, I don't know, week in a row where we get to see Veer Mahan coming soon. Before the match started, again, like, shocker, coming soon. Time, at least I think he smirked a little. Like, time to, like, get that over with already. And the match was a giant waste of time. Reggie and Dana Brooke win. Truth and Tamina are getting along so well. It was just a waste. Nikki got interviewed by Megan, who I hate, but challenged Queen Zelina and Carmella for a rematch for the tag titles. Carmella later accepts, which she cuts in the middle of, AJ and stuff. But, she did do that. The RK Bro Tournament Finals, Street Profits defeated the Mysterios. Before we got to see that, we had a flashback to 2020 and all the stuff between Roman and Heyman. But that was a hell of a match between the Mysterios and Street Profits. And I'm okay with the Street Profits winning. I think that made more sense and is better off than the Mysterios. Just the Street Profits. I mean, they just got, they're just not about their team. They're together. They've won tag titles everywhere in the company, and they're super talented, and I'm okay with them getting victory. I think it was the right move to do. You could correct me, but I think it was the right move. And the real question is, what are they going to do with, the whole situation? Because Randy and Riddle, I mean, they're over, obviously faces, and the Profits are faces. What are they going to do with, all of that? But I think it's going to be a hell of a match. And again, I think it was the right move. Cody, not so much the right move in my eyes, but having Street Profits win that match, be number one contenders for day one, I thought that was the right move. And again, they got Otis and Gable can come out and do that, and that'll drag on, the Profits and the Alpha Academy. They could do something there over who's going to be, the number one contender, which they can keep dragging out, which, can make for, again, a lot of good matches to tell a story going forward. to see who the number one contender is going to be. Like, it's going to be good stuff. So, I actually dug all of it. I thought it was a good move. I thought it was a really good idea. Yeah, and I thought the Profits were the right team to win out of those two. Some Mysterio still got right there, but the Street Profits I thought were better, and I thought they were underutilized for so long now. Like, I really don't remember anything about them even in the run on SmackDown, except they swapped titles with the New Day. I believe they were the ones that were champions, and they went on to their own shows. That was pretty much it. So even when people were healthy, so I was okay with them getting it. Hopefully we'll see what they do with it. Start building momentum. But again, they're both baby faces, so got to see what they do with that. We got a recap of all the AJ and Omos stuff. AJ hits the ring, get to see Miz backstage yelling about flowers. Bischoff's there to, be the guy that, sees over their renewal of their vows. AJ did a good job on the mic. And here's one of the dumber moments is when they had Grayson Waller up front yelling at him. He invites him into the ring with a microphone. There's talking, obviously, back and forth. Grayson could hold his own. I just no one. I mean, that was a lot of boos going at Grayson Waller. And AJ, I just think he's more polished on the mic. And I don't get, the whole point of it. Like, he's sitting there talking, they're doing their thing. And then enter Apollo and Aziz. Then Aziz suddenly talks, Commander Aziz, and challenges AJ to a match. And Grayson Waller just poof, he's gone like that. To see you later. Like, he just scurries out of the ring and you don't see him anymore. So what the hell was the entire point of it? Like, have him come out there, no payoff, no anything. Like, they talk for 2 or 3 minutes, boom, here comes Apollo. I didn't get it, but it is what it is. Commercials, there's, before commercial, maybe, we get to see Carmella accept that challenge, like I said, but they changed it to AJ Styles versus Apollo Crews during the break, and I thought it was another great match. I guess, go comparatively, but I would really just say it was great for one thing and one thing only. Since he got to NXT, I would say Apollo Crews, we can all say, is very, very, very talented amongst them all. Super, super talented. Character-wise, was he really ready? No, they moved him up within months of getting into the system. And what never his work inside the ring that, he questioned. It was just the character stuff, because there was no character, because he was around for 12 seconds and they moved him up. But I was happy to see him actually get to show something that is worth and do it with AJ Styles and actually have, a few minutes on TV to actually show what he could do with someone like AJ Styles. Because I've always thought that Apollo was, again, in the ring, he was right. He was there. It's just his character, and they moved him up to where so there's no character, which is why he floundered for so long. I still think the accent is stupid, but I was excited to at least get to see him in a match for more than, a short little segment, including entrances and it being over with someone like AJ Styles. I thought that was really good for him. And, it showed what Apollo could do and the talent that he really has. So I was okay with that. And Aziz got, phenomenal forearmed afterwards, which we all saw was coming, just how much they showed, Aziz trying to get Apollo to stand up. We all knew something was coming from behind, but that was good. Seth responded to KO. KO goes to the ring. Again, I think KO did the best of all of them. MVP interrupts him. And then, remember those guys I mentioned last week? Yeah. What? MVP is there. Suddenly there's Cedric and Shelton. MVP's back. Suddenly they're gone. And then here we go. And, Lashley can't be there. And there's Cedric and Shelton suddenly showing up, talking about how he's at his best. When they were around, there's a match. Cedric loses. It's a quick match, too. KO picked up the win there. Even got a stunner on Shelton. But the big takeaway from that match was, at least Shelton got his, give me a goddamn microphone. He got his microphone. He got stunned right after, but at least he got that line in and he got stunned. I mean, that's what he wanted. He wanted the goddamn microphone. He got his microphone and stunned. And I'm sure now we're not going to see them again for a while. I don't like they had them come back. They were there for 10 seconds and then they were gone again. And then Lashley can't be there. And there they are again. It really just seemed like just throwing something together. Okay, well, boom, you're going to be on TV again. So I didn't like it. Thought it was kind of dumb. But, they do what they have to do. Again, so many people not able to be on the show. I mean, there were so many vignettes, video packages. Like we had Reggie and Dana Brooke against R-Truth and Tamina. That should sum it all up right there. It was bad. Ziggler defeated Priest by DQ because he got him to snap out. So no title change, but see what they're going to do for, day one. Sure there's going to be something because he did win by DQ, but he did maul him outside the ring. So, they're not killing each other, but he made it look good. So we'll see what they do with it at day one. Before they got to do their thing, don't forget there was a video package of everything between, Becky and Liv Morgan because they couldn't be there either. And then again, another interview from Priest earlier in the day to get another commercial break. Like there's entrance, video package, interview. Like they wasted like I think 3 or 4 segments just with people entering the ring at that point, just for that one match between Damian Priest and Ziggler. And they put together a good match. It's just, we all knew that they were going to get him to snaps. There'd be a DQ. Like we all really knew the outcome that was coming. I want to see what they're doing going forward. Let me get to that. Like the only good thing I have about the Miz and Maurice, even with Bischoff officiating it, thank God for the brood bath at the end or whatever they call it nowadays. Because it just sucked. I think at one point you could literally hear Maurice trying to talk and they had to turn the volume up on the microphones because she was getting deafened out by the boos. There were so many, which means I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's going like, this is how they're building it. Like, this is stupid. Like it was like what they could have done between Edge and Miz could have been, so good, but it started off, started out with the possibility and then there's the Maurice and Miz stuff, and then suddenly they're renewing their vows, and it ends like it just for Edge being able to tell a story, it just felt like they so rushed it all to get it through and get everything done. And it's a damn shame, man. I'm sure it's not going to end here. I can guarantee it's not going to be over here. But man. Like the whole thing, like we're okay, cool. I mean, they started off pretty much stealing Punk and MJF's thing, like mentioning very similar things. And then it just kept getting to this. And, I didn't like the whole thing. And they got a little better here and there, some of their, talking and all that. But I mean, it sucked. Like it really just sucks. It could be so much better. So at least we got, brood bath and a whole lot of booze where you could physically, at least I was sitting there watching it on my TV. I'm like, you could barely hear. Oh no, there she is. I bet you they didn't stop booing so loud suddenly. It's just they got a louder microphone. I mean, you could hear them turning. It's like when Triple H came back from, his first quad. I think it was first Madison Square Garden, Motorhead hit. And, you could hear them continuously moving the volume of his song because they just kept screaming and they would not stop screaming loud. So, there's my good takeaways. But I mean, they had some good matches in there on, last night on Raw, but there was just so much like wasted space. Just you could tell they were wasting space and killing time. And I mean, they could have filled that with matches that actually meant something instead of just a million. Why'd we even do that? Like so many. Short, like why the hell did we waste our time with that, parts of the show? I get it, they couldn't have that many people there, so it's hard. But I mean, the people that you do have there, let them go for a few minutes. Don't waste it all on 97. That's what it felt like, video packages and short, pointless interviews. And then, like it takes 3 segments just to get to the match starting and then it's over in like 3 minutes. Like, what the hell is the point of that? Like you could have cut one less stupid thing out of it and then gave him an extra like 4 or 5 minutes for that segment to actually have a match. But they choose just to waste it all on entrances, which is why people stop watching it, record it, and then they can hit fast forward because they know what kind of idiot. I mean, if you're on Hulu, live TV, you still have to watch the commercials for Raw, but you can fast forward through the segments because you know exactly what's going to happen. You can see they're wasting time. And yeah, that really, really sucks. So I'd say over like matches wise, I have to give it to Rampage just because there wasn't a lot of time to waste inside of an hour. So they went for that one. Not going to give a grade to Raw just because there's so many people missing, and you knew there were so many people missing. Like we also have live shows, and I knew who wasn't going to be there. See what they do with Cedric and Shelton. Yeah, I'm sure they're not going to be back full time again with the Hurt Business, even though I thought they killed it too soon. And most of us thought they killed it too soon. Really, I mean, says he doesn't need anyone's help, fires them, and then he goes, tells the whole, puts a contract on Drew's head and for the whole locker room. Yeah, so yeah, they just did that whole thing stupid. But overall, man, I'd say I'm not going to give again. SmackDown, it is what it was. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. The Charlotte and Tony, I mean, they still had a good match. And Sammy and Ricochet still had a good match at the end of the gauntlet match, which did make up for a lot of it. Raw, Zelina wasn't there. Becky and Liv weren't there. Lashley, Seth, and Big E weren't there. I mean, there was a lot of people that are in, big situation, big matches for day one that couldn't be there. So can't really hate on them for being for match quality and stuff that they had. But, Jesus, they could have tried. I mean, everyone could pretty much have watched it say, like, you didn't need to have that many commercial breaks and segments, just like with one person entering. They have to wait for the other person, right? So you can go back to commercial again. Like stop waste. Like, and they do it every week. Like this time they get a break. Again, at least 7 people I just thought of right there off the top of my head couldn't be there. So, that made things a lot more difficult. But the other times, I mean, they just do it. It's such a trend of just killing time. I'm going to say that's partially why all the ratings suck. But again, that's just me. Don't get mad. Don't take it to heart. But that's not helping the ratings because they do it literally every week. And I know if I'm tired of it, I'm not the only one that's tired of it. So, nothing we could do about that. But I'd say Rampage won again. Shorter show. The matches are, shorter, but there's less time to waste on that show because they're trying to get, so much in. It's not 2 hours that they're trying to kill. They're trying to get everything in there. So I'd say they won the weekend, and Raw doesn't count because of how many people couldn't be there. But I still think day one's going to be good as long as everything works out and no one tests like positive. Because then when that happens, throw a whole giant loop into all kinds of things, which they don't need right now. But overall, I'd still say it was a good weekend and good things to come. No, wait. I have to see Joe Gacy and Tony D'Angelo tonight, don't I? Well, at least Dynamite, Rampage, SmackDown, and day one are to come after that. So I guess I can get through one brain-melting experience before then. But all that being said, I appreciate the watch. I appreciate the listen. Please feel free. Again, like, share, comment, repeat. It's on the screen behind me. It's a real thing. Like, that helps me out. Subscribe on all the platforms. Follow and make sure you check every day. If you don't see the videos, like, please, if you're listening to this, go out there every day because they are out there, whether they tell you or not. You can see this stuff and comment and tell me what you think. If you want to come on here, please. Anyone's always welcome to come on here and talk wrestling with me. I greatly appreciate people to come on and talk wrestling. Like, that would be lots of fun. I enjoy it when other people are here. It's not just me flapping my jibs for 40 minutes, which I think everyone would think is a very good thing. Excellent thing. I don't have to listen to this voice or see this big old forehead because I didn't feel like doing anything with all of this today. It's almost long enough. It's pretty much long enough to donate now. So, but I appreciate it all. I believe I will be back. Thursday is the day to go over 2.0 and Dynamite. I talk about what hurt my head tonight and what didn't necessarily all hurt my head tomorrow, because there'll be some good stuff. But back then to talk about stuff, we're going to do a day one preview show. That's coming up this week, and possibly a reaction show as well, but haven't worked all that out yet. But again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe along on everything: Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Sketcher, Breaker, Anchor, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Overcast, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and share them out onto all your socials because it gets more eyes on there and ears. And I appreciate you all. And I'll be back on Thursday. So until then, enjoy the wrestling. Let me know what you think. Enjoy each other's company. And like always, peace.